All right, so Nick is going to give us a review of the new Predator. Predator has a show now called Killer
No,
of
it
Killer.
no, it's not a show. It is a anthology animated film that is
Oh, okay.
directed by that is a returning director to the franchise with Dan Trachtenberg and also Joshua Wasong. Trachtenberg, he of course he directed Prey back in 2022. You know, the movie that everybody kind of got mad was dumped to streaming because it was awesome and it went back to basics with Predator and kind of reminded everyone what it was about that franchise that really resonated. And with here, he had the idea of, okay, what if we had the Predator but in different eras throughout history? So in this we have in Viking era Scandinavia, we have a story in feudal Japan, and we also have one in World War II. And something that this movie does really well is, I think, the animation, it is a different from a lot of what we see in typical CG animation. There's kind of this cartoonish, very cell shaded look, but all of the grit and violence of the Predator movies are still there. And something that I think that the movie does well with each anthology, and something that Predator does really well, there's like this whole other movie that's going on before the Predator even shows up. But when it does, there is this like sense of dread and tension and this feeling of watching these different lead characters try and find ways to defeat this seemingly unstoppable force. But where this movie really cooks is something that is going to be a spoiler, because I will say all of the stories tie together in a really interesting and fascinating way. Oh wait, they show it in the trailer. Never mind. So they show some of it in the trailer, excuse me. So this is this does what any great franchise entry should do, especially one as iconic to Hollywood and science fiction as Predator. And it adds new fascinating wrinkles to it. It adds new layers and new background to the Predator, or the Yautja as they're called. Um the voice cast in here, I think, is fantastic. You have Lindsay Levanchi, you have Lauren Holt, Doug Cockle, Piotr Mitchell, Louis Ozawa Cheng Chen, who is the lead in the Japan segment, and Rick Gonzalez, who was in Reaper and on Arrow as Wild Dog. He has a prominent role in one of the segments as well. And you also have Michael Bean. I think Michael Bean, he hasn't passed away, did he?
No.
Nope, still kicking. Oh, thank goodness. But the voice cast, I think, is fantastic. The animation, it is a very kind of unique look, one that kind of disarms you in the same way that Invincible does, almost, where it feels like it is a comic book. It is very kind of this cell shaded animation, but it looks gorgeous in motion. And the action with the Predator, I think it's some of the best of this franchise. If I had one critique of it, I feel like with any anthology type of structure, there is going to be a standout segment of it, and that, of course, is the feudal Japan.
Yeah.
And I'd say the weakest one is the last segment of it, which is set during World War II. Even though something I think this does well is it does, with each segment, it kind of plays with a different subgenre of action or war films, where in the first one, it is, a Viking film. And then, of course, you have samurai and then shinobu culture in the second one. And then the last one is World War II. And it's all very well done. But I feel like the strongest is definitely feudal Japan. But when it comes together, it is some of the coolest things that have ever been done in the Predator franchise. And I cannot wait to see what Trachtenberg does with Predator Badlands. Because if he does what I think he's going to do and build off the lore that's established in this movie, we are in for some top tier science fiction.
Mm. So how long is each segment? Does each
Eat
segment get equal
Yeah.
length or?
Yeah, this movie is about 90 minutes, and I wasn't tracking it with my phone or anything, or with a timer or a stopwatch or anything, but I feel like every segment gets about like 20 minutes.
Okay.
And every segment has their third act structure. Every segment comes to a satisfying conclusion.
Yeah. And do you think this kinda kills future movie plans? Because I know after Prey came out, there was a lot of people saying like, "Oh, let's do one with Vikings, let's do one with samurai,
Mm,
let's do all this."
If
Like, this movie does that, it's like, "Okay, we don't have to do that anymore," or?
uh Honestly, if anything, I feel like it would like galvanize plans like that. Because just because you do it in animation, like we see with Disney and now DreamWorks, that doesn't stop them from doing live action remakes. That
Mm,
doesn't that shouldn't that doesn't and shouldn't stop them from doing a Predator versus a Viking or something in feudal Japan, or pick any kind of unexplored area of history and throw the Predator in there.
mm, okay. Throw the Predator on Epstein Island, let's see. Let's see.
He was
Uh,
just there for the snorkeling.
yeah, let's see who the real Predator is. Throw him in the cage there. Okay. So, all right. So you have that going on. So it's a brisk 90 minutes here. So pretty quick watch. You got that. And so this was set before, it's gonna be set before he comes out with Predator Banless, which come out
Mhm.
this year. It's supposed to come out
Yeah, this I think
November.
this yeah, November this year.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
which in theaters, thank goodness.
yeah. All right. And Dan Trachtenberg there. He's done great things. I loved his 10 Cloverfield Lane. I did love his movie. I did
Yeah,
love that.
10 Cloverfield Lane is one of my favorite uh like surprise sequels. And also he directed the pilot for The Boys, which for my money is one of the best pilots for any modern series of the 2010s.
Yeah. And we have it, I mean, we see a reboot of this franchise. We're gonna talk about Alien in a little bit there.
Mhm.
They have Shield coming out, and they're gonna do a sequel to, the latest Alien film there. So yeah, it seems like the only 80s franchise left to come back is Terminator. They have to make a good Terminator now. That's out there. So what would be your final thoughts and rating for
Uh,
Killers?
m-
Killers there?
my final thoughts. This is a very quick watch. Every segment was engaging in their own way. It establishes new lore and expands on the lore of the Yacha and the Predator. It is a must see for fans of the franchise, and a great new. I'm always gonna support like new styles of animation, and this is the animation. This is done by the Third Floor. They're a VFX company that works out of Los Angeles. They've done stuff for Marvel, for Lucasfilm, and if this is any indication, they're a studio to look out for. Um, I think this is a fantastic watch. All the action is great. It gives you everything that you would want out of a Predator movie. It lives up to the hype and potential of its elevator pitch, which I think very few action movies really do. I got to give this a strong tune in.
Awesome. Okay. So strong tune in from Nick for Predator, Killer of Killers there. Streaming on Hulu now.